Hey class, welcome to, I believe this is chapter 7, or is it 8? We're moving along quite fast. Again, if you guys have any questions about, any chapters, anything in general, please feel free to contact me. My contact information is in one of the first pages per module. Also, we have spring break next week, so just kind of remember that. And another thing is when I submitted last week's module, I guess I didn't let it load all the way, so it never published. So I didn't realize that until Thursday. So I'm going to give you guys additional time. If you guys are still having issues with it, please let me know. Again, I apologize for that. Not trying to stress anyone else or not. The good thing is this is a very, very short chapter. Um, Towards the end of the book is the chapters start to get shorter and shorter, which is good for us and kind of how I designed the class to have the workload be moved to the end. So again, you want to think about interviewing a professional. If you can't find a professional, if you don't know, again, what career you want to do, please let me know. I'm here for you guys. I just want to help out as much as possible. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start this chapter. So it's exploring career information. Um, we'll just leave it at that. Remember, we are going to have a quiz. So I'll point that out in a bit, actually. Move myself over here. All right. So again, we want to generate career options that align with your career fitness profile. And again, a career fitness profile is just something that you're thinking about doing. You're gonna have a specific job or career. We want to align your passions with that career, so that way you don't dread your career. As crazy as it sounds. Understand career pathway, our path, and typical organizational divisions. Develop a strategy for research career options. And then determine and explore research for conducting occupational research. So again, we're gonna talk about all those. So if they don't make sense yet, just wait for it, and we're definitely gonna get there. And my keyboard's not working. Awesome. All right. So generating career options. So by now you probably have a good understanding or an idea of what career or major or job or training that you want to do. So if you don't, again, don't feel bad. That's essentially why you're taking this course. Just means that we have to focus a little bit more on these things to get you to where you want to be. We're going to start narrowing down your career pathways in this particular chapter. So administration. So when you think of administration, you probably might be thinking of a couple different things. When I think of administration, because I've worked in education for so long, I'm thinking of a principal, a vice principal, a dean, someone who is in charge of a department, essentially someone who are making the decisions that are well over my pay grade, to be honest. So that's what administration is. So it's organization, top executive officer. Man, I'm struggling today, and other managers. So again, like a manager. Sometimes it's human resources. If you don't know what human resources are, they're the ones who are going to hire you for a position, or that's the one you'd file grievance with, or check out your health benefits, which hopefully you've watched the health benefits before this. But again, administration is really someone who's going to be in charge of making important decisions. So that might be you. Maybe you want to, maybe you work for yourself, maybe you want to work for a company, maybe you want to be a CEO. But if you're thinking that you want to be the one who makes the decisions, you're looking for an administration role. Um, so again, there's different careers. There's corporate relations, responsible for advertising, public relations, which again is just relationships, community relations, branding, and social media campaign. Social media is huge right now, as you are probably aware. We have these people called influencers, which are essentially salespeople. Whether you believe that or not, they have a specific goal or product in mind they want you to buy. A lot of times, if you use their promo code, they get a percentage of profit, whether they disclose that or not. Um, but again, that advertisement is really, really big. And we talk about advertisement a little bit further into the chapters. But one thing I do want you guys to understand about advertisement is have watched the documentary The Corporations, is I myself, my wife, you guys are all consumers, and the point of advertisement is to get our hard-earned dollars into, these corporate or these businesses' bank accounts, right? They want to sell your product whether you need it or you don't. The newest iPhone, the newest car, the newest whatever. So one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is how many times have you seen the different commercial for the same product? And the reason why they're doing that is to show that multiple people could use this product. So for instance, I'll talk about cars. You might see an SUV, and the first commercial is like a group of people smiling, driving down the ocean side with surfboards on the SUV and the camping and all this stuff. And if you're into that thing, you're saying, hey, I need this SUV so I could go camping, or so I could go surfing, or I could, drive up the coast. Um, and then there might be the same vehicle, but a different commercial with like, kids in the back of this SUV, and they're going to the grocery store or soccer games or whatever it might be. And then you're probably thinking, oh, I have kids. I need this SUV to be a better parent or whatever else. So I want you to be aware of this advertisement, especially through social media, but we'll talk about that a lot in the future, just because it's so fascinating, but it's also very relevant to you and I as consumers. So another thing that's really popular right now is distribution. And essentially what that is if I have a product and I sell a product to someone in a different state, different country, even if it's across the street, I need to get my product to that individual, right? And I'm not the one who's gonna be personally driving it there, especially if I'm selling thousands of products. So I want you guys to be thinking of maybe Amazon right now. I just bought a pair of shoes on Amazon like 20 minutes ago, but those shoes are gonna arrive to me in 2 days. Who knows where they are, but they have to come to me. So distribution is really organizing a product from area A to area B and everything in between, especially if it's coming from out of state. Is it gonna be driven? Is it gonna be flown? Is it gonna be through the boat? Is it gonna be through the train? So logistics and distribution are huge, huge, huge right now. They're even talking about having drones drop off packages for you. Um, not only is that going to get from area A to B, but also if it's in a warehouse already, you have to have somebody or a robot physically go get that item from the shelf, right? And package it for you before it could even be shipped. So distribution is huge. Think of FedEx, think of UPS, think of Amazon, think of United States Postal Service. I actually, not to get too far off topic, but I do have a buddy from high school, and his job is to drive cross country with two other people in his big rig, and they take 8-hour shifts. So he's constantly driving from California to Florida to New York to, wherever it might be. And then they unload their packages and then they drive all the way back. So it's kind of crazy. That's kind of where we're at right now. But we're consumers and we want our products, and we want our products like now. So engineering, everything that you have, this Apple device I'm using, the phone I use, the table I'm using, it had to be engineered, it had to be designed, the car, etc. Right? It's not like you're going to get two random things and smash them together and it's going to work. No, they have to be designed to fit, or it's not going to work. There's going to be circuit boards. There's going to be whatever it might be. So that's one thing as far as engineering. If thinking about being an engineer major, because you're essentially making everything that you and I use daily. It's not a one-off where back in the day, if I'm a sword maker, 600 years ago, I'm going to make a sword, sell to somebody, make a new sword. It's one of one. It's, hey, I need to buy 1,000 of these units, whatever it might be. And a lot of times they're made by technology or robots, so everything's going to fit so they can make them really quickly. And one thing, I'll put this PowerPoint up, but obviously your test questions are probably going to be based off of this. So just make sure you're paying attention, or at least go through the PowerPoint before you take the quiz. So finance, this is, money. Money is not everything, but it does make the world go round. So accounting functions, including payroll, budgets, and accounts payable and receiving. So that's essentially exchanging money from maybe the consumer to the company. to one company to another company, from the company paying their employees. So this is all about money and balancing, right? If you can't balance your checkbook, or the company can't balance a checkbook, it's going to go out of business. I used to in college, I worked for a payroll company. So that was before really direct deposit was huge. I know I'm old, but people used to tangibly get a paycheck every Friday or whenever it was. So I used to drive around in my payroll car, and I used to deliver to 100 different businesses per day, delivering payroll, physical checks. Um, so yeah, that's finance for you. Sales, again, you're not gonna buy something unless you know about it. And they have salespeople who are making pitches, who are skewing your idea, who want you to buy certain products. So it's maintaining customer accounts, selling the company products, sometimes including marketing and functioning. So again, we talked about marketing before. I'm not going to spend my hard-earned dollars on something that's expensive if I've never heard of that thing before, because I don't trust it. But if you manage it and you market it towards someone who has the same interest as me, I'm going to go ahead and buy that, whatever it might be. So sales is huge. Companies would not be around. Doesn't matter what company it is if they didn't have a sales department, right? If someone didn't know how to buy your product, they're not going to buy your product, essentially. IT, think of like help support. So it has to do with computers and programs. So sometimes my computer doesn't work at work, so I have to call the IT department, and they either come in and physically fix my computer, or they talk to me over the phone and say, click this, don't click this, etc., or update this software, or whatever it might be. But as we move into the digital world, we're taking this class online. IT is huge. And to be perfectly honest, you don't need a bachelor's or even a master's to do IT. Sometimes it's as easy as getting a certificate. Now, that certificate might be a couple hard classes for sure, but just know if you go to community college, for a couple $1,000s, you could get your certificate making really good money. So that's IT, technical support, IT, yeah. So this is right out of the book, and if you believe it or not, that we're pretty much done with this chapter. It's pretty short, but you definitely want to start looking at different websites and different jobs. So there's Career Builder, there's tons. Career Builder is a big one. Monster Board. I've never heard of Wet Feet. Glassdoor is really good. But you really want to start looking at different websites, various websites, to see what jobs are being offered, what salary you should expect. And the cool thing about Glassdoor is it will actually show you people's comments. So they might say, hey, working for this company and they didn't pay me enough. And it's kind of nice to know that sometimes. Another one that's not on this, and it's not really promoted as much, is a thing called Transparent California. So if you're thinking about becoming a teacher, becoming a counselor, becoming a law enforcement, anything that's paid through the state or government, they have to publish their wages. So you could look myself up, you could look up a teacher, you could look up the mayor, you could look up the governor, you could look up a police officer, you could look up a firefighter. So if you're thinking about going to the public field and you don't know how much somebody makes, go on that website, type in the name if you know somebody, and find out how much they make. Now, sometimes it's a year or two behind, so it's not accurate information, but just know they're probably making more than that at that point in time. So definitely check that out. This next slide is the 2 videos that you've already watched. So with that being said, you're good to go. Please remember again to interview a professional. If you can't find somebody, let me know. I might know somebody, or at least I could point you in the right direction. If you've already found somebody, great. If you don't know what the interviewing a professional is, please go down to our website and click on it. And there's a video describing how it's going to be graded and what to do for that particular. I mean, everything is going to be with videos on this class. But again, I'm here for you guys, and enjoy your spring break. Talk to you soon. Bye.